With 13 games left in the season, wake me up when this soggy September ends. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sogcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Matt.
I'm Garrett.
I'm Nate.
Well, it's been soggy, boys. What else is there to say after the blazing hot August, setting franchise records for wins in a calendar month? They have cooled all the way off, and it is downright soggy.
Yeah, they've cooled considerably. They're looking kind of like they did in June, you know. We're getting down the stretch, and the boys look a little bit tired. You know, I thought last week I was saying we're kind of on our exhale after the storm, you know what I mean? We're kind of recovering, and we're going to get hot again. And now it's make it or break it time. There are only 13 games left in the season, less than 2 weeks to go. And if we're going to get hot, now's the time to do it.
And one thing that has actually been crazy is the Rangers and the Astros have not gained a ton of ground. They have been losing games too, which would have been perfect time for the Mariners to be playing well and to jump back into first place in the division. We haven't been doing that. We've also been playing bad. But at least that's one silver lining, is that we're still just as much in the hunt, which is nice.
We've been really lucky that they've been losing those games along with us.
Yeah, last 10 Astros are 5-5, and Texas is 6-4. All we pretty much had to do to stay in a comfortable spot was not go 3-7, and that's what we did, was go 3-7 in our last 10.
Yeah, which we hadn't done for weeks since the beginning of July. Since the deadline, we hadn't had a week like that, and it sucks to drop series to teams like the Mets and the Reds, you know, and then going into Tampa Bay, losing 3 out of 4, that was tough. We had a tough time being down there in the Trop. Our pitching isn't as crisp as it was early this season, you know. We thought our pitching would carry us all the way through, and our offense had to prove it, and now it's kind of the offense puts up numbers, but we kind of get shelled too. Our runs per game are way higher than we expected them to be early in the season, but we can't keep putting the ball in the zone and getting pounded.
Yeah, and something I talked about last week is it hasn't even been good baseball to watch, which I think is really, really frustrating. We just got swept at home by the Dodgers.
Easily, too.
Well, you know what? Surprisingly enough, Friday and Saturday were both winnable games. We had our chances. There was time to win those games. Saturday was especially brutal when you have your tie game, 8th inning, 9th inning, tie game, your number 8 hitter gets on. Your number 9 hitter gets on. You have runners on first and second, no one out. And JP, Julio, and Teo all struck out in a row. Yeah. And that's brutal.
That was tough.
You can't be having that shit. And yeah, we went toe-to-toe with the Dodgers besides the Sunday game, which was just bad baseball. Friday and Saturday were winnable games. We went toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in baseball. But then again, there lies the issue of us having a team that's built to hang around, whereas the Dodgers have a team that's built to win championships, and that's why they had the sweep. We went toe-to-toe, but they came out on top because their team is built different.
Yeah, a team like that does all the little things right. They know exactly where they are. They know what the expectation is, and that they're going to be there. And it does feel like we kind of battled them a little bit, but when they do all the small things right and take advantage of every little thing, it's tough, man. They match up the pitchers the right way. They pitch the shit out of the ball. The Mariners didn't really win the matchups, the pitching and hitting matchups that we had, especially when we have to pinch hit guys like Haggerty and Dylan Moore to get the right lefty-righty matchups, you know, and we don't have the depth that they have.
One thing they did do right was chase Kershaw off the mound after 4 innings, though. That was nice. I saw a little glimmer of hope and then was promptly shit all over.
I wouldn't even say promptly. That game went to extras. It just,
Yeah.
I mean, we battled and we had our chances. And, this is a two-parter. One, the contact play happened again. Caballero was on third base, hard ground ball right to third. He just immediately breaks for home and gets thrown out by 30 feet. Second part of that, Caballero needs to go. Caballero needs to get off this team 5 minutes ago. He was great at the start of the year. He had the little edge. He was messing with pitchers. He was fun. It's gone. It's gone, and I want him gone. He has now almost exclusively been in a pinch running role, and he has fucked those up his last times. The contact play, and when last week when he got put in to pinch run and got picked off immediately.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, Cab, I'm over Cabs. Cabs needs to find himself in the unemployment office.
Yeah, we're at that part in the season where we're kind of seeing our lack of depth right now when we're having to start Dylan Moore and Sam Haggerty. Nothing wrong, fine ball players, but they should be off the bench, pinch runner type guys, not our starting second baseman or starting left fielder on a team that's trying to beat the Dodgers and compete for a playoff spot. We're just kind of limited we're solid through like maybe 6-7 positions, and then there's just 3 or 4 in bench depth that are not quite there. We just don't have enough to compete with teams like the Dodgers, who, their bench player pinch hitting is Chris Taylor, who will hit 320 for a season.
Yeah, and has solid defense at like every position he plays. He can play pretty much any position in the infield and outfield. He's great at center field. He played third base on Sunday against the Mariners, he's been great for them, and he's the type of utility guy that we want Haggerty to be, especially, but he's not quite there. I do see like our team, like I've been saying, man, we have like naive strategies. We're young. Canzone continues to have good at bats when he gets pinch hit at bats, especially. Like he puts a good swing on the ball and tries, and it looks a lot better than what AJ Pollock and Colton Wong were doing early in the season. Our lack of depth, it's just lack of veteran leadership and lack of depth. Like the Dodgers picked up veterans like who were we just talking about? Jason Hayward. Like he's having a great year over there because he's in a role where he doesn't have to play every day, and he's given the right information, and he puts a good swing on the ball every time and still plays defense. They do everything the right way, and they put everyone in a good position to win over there. And the Mariners are kind of scrambling sometimes.
Even Colton Wong, he comes in and gets the sac fly to go ahead in the 10th inning on that Saturday game. And, whereas for us, he was our starting only second baseman for, a half of the season.
Another thing, talking about depth, I want Mike Ford to get more at bats. Mike Ford has proven that he can hit the ball hard and that he comes up in clutch moments. He had that huge 2-out game-tying RBI in the 9th. And honestly, we should have pinch run Canzone for him because he was on first. JP then ropes a beautiful double off the wall in right field, and Mike Ford, bless his heart, not a speedy guy. He was chugging along best he could, but he couldn't score.
Yeah,
and
we needed multiple runs in that situation, so they were like, okay, we'll move him over, and if he gets to second, we'll pinch run for him. But then it didn't pay off when we put that ball in the gap, or he can't score from first. That sucks.
Big Vogelbach vibes coming around second base.
Chugging.
But going on with the Mike Ford thing, there was an interview, I've been meaning to bring this up with you guys as well. There was an interview he did a couple weeks ago now where he had come up again, late innings, had a clutch base hit, and they interviewed about it. And he basically was trying to give PR speak for he needs more at-bats. And he went about it the right way, but he was just like, I am a good hitter, and it's really tough when I'm only getting, 3 at-bats a week. I'm going up there and I'm trying to do my best, but it's hard when I'm not getting regular at bats. And he faces it with like, I know my role on the team. I'm not complaining. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying I feel like I have earned my chance for more at bats. And he's 100% right. Mike Ford can hit, and he needs to be in that lineup. And they always say it doesn't matter your glove or anything. If you can hit, they'll find a spot in the lineup for you. And he's hitting, and the Mariners are not finding a spot in the lineup for him. And it's driving me crazy.
And he's not just an all or nothing hitter now. Like, he can slap the ball up the middle and put it to the right side with authority on the ground, or it's like line one through the infield up the middle all the time. I see it all the time. Like, he knows what to do with the pitch he's given. He's not just swinging out of his shoes. And he has earned what he's gotten so far, and he needs more. He needs those regular at-bats. He should be in there like our DH every day, you know, or when Ty France isn't hitting well especially, and there's a right-handed pitcher in, put him at first base. He's fine over there. He's good enough. Like, I love Mike Ford. I heard him on Foul Territory, too, and he was saying all of these things. And all the guys over there, the former players, they were commending him, too, being like, yeah, dude, you've earned it. Like, you should be there. You shouldn't have to force the team's hand to sign you to the major league roster, you know, like he did earlier this season. He was like, dude, I'm gone if you guys don't sign me to a major league deal. Like, and we did, and it's paying off. And I think we should sign him up longer and give him that long run of at bats, because he is a force. Like, he came up with the Yankees and made a difference for them right away too. He was hitting homers right away, and he's a special kind of hitter. When he puts the barrel on the ball, that thing is a rocket. So the way he's been hitting more recently, like I'm saying, slapping singles as well as can hit for power, makes me think that he's a guy that should stick around. And I really appreciate what he has done for us and has been a nice piece off of our bench when we need it.
I think at this point we have to think he should be getting more at bats than Ty France. I mean, I know Ty's track record, you know, he's, well, not in the past year, but, you know, statistically over the past 3 years, he's been a solid hitter. He's not that this year. Mike Ford can play a decent first base enough to make it where we wouldn't miss Ty France at first base, and I kind of trust his at-bats more right now than Ty France, grounding into a double play every single time he comes up.
And also, Ty France's biggest offensive contribution is getting hit by pitches. He's been hit by 32 pitches this year, 12 more than the second place guy for hit by pitch.
In both leagues, American
both leagues.
and national.
Yeah.
He's going for a career record, or like an all-time career record of hit by pitches. He's on pace.
It's pretty incredible how, I mean, that's just getting a single to him.
But is it do we really need? Yes, his defense is good at first. It's great.
It's really good.
It's really good. I'm not underselling his defense, but from a hitting standpoint, do we really want our starting first baseman to the best thing you can hope for is that he gets hit by a pitch? He's got absolutely no pop. I don't know where his power went. I mean, it's not like he was an all-around power guy before, but now he has no power. We heard that shtick about, oh, he went to a chiropractor, so now he can hit the ball. Where has that been? Haven't seen that shit.
That was pretty funny.
Oh my God. I'm a little over Ty France, and his defense is great. He has a realistic shot to win a Gold Glove this year, but I just don't care that much. I don't care that much about first base defense.
I saw a stat. He had 2 home runs. He has 1 multi-homer game this year, and he hit 2 home runs on May 25th or 26th. And since then, he has 4 home runs since the end of May.
Yeah, I think he's at 10.
Yeah, right? He's at 10 total since the end of May. He has 4 total home runs.
The dude's bat is ice cold. Matt and I used to call him hit artist Ty France. He was just so good and slappy. And it's gone. I couldn't tell you where it is. It's just vanished.
Yeah, I don't know what it is exactly. Like, is he just not putting the work in to beat what his weaknesses are? You know what I mean? Because the league figures you out, and you have to make the next move. Like, put the ball back in their court. Show them that you figured out how to hit that high fastball, and that you're not just fooled every time there's a cutter up, or like a slider, back foot slider. Like, he used to work the count in his favor, be able to slap the ball the other way better. He's still like on pitches pretty well, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a mental thing, but he is definitely having a down year. Like at the beginning of the year, we all were like, yeah, Ty France is going to hit like 300, dude. Like he's taking a step up. He's going to excel now that he's playing every day and that, you know, he's in the lineup every day. And we saw him be the hit artist Ty France that he is. And that's the thing is like, where is that guy? He looks like a different guy right now.
Where is that hit artist, Ty France?
I think
This
honestly,
is not my Ty France.
This is not my beautiful wife.
I think he's battling nagging injuries still, and he has been throughout the past 3 seasons. You know, last year, first half, Ty France was all-star caliber until he got that wrist injury where he got his wrist ran into. He always seems to get some sort of wrist or forearm injury that kind of lingers throughout the whole season. It happened 2 years ago, too. First half started hot, got injured on the IL for 10 days, came back, never really was the same hitter.
Yeah, he got hit in the hand, right? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got hit a couple times in the hand forearm area this year. And he just does not look like the same hitter that he does first half of last year when he was, you know, solid and healthy. I feel like he's always playing through some kind of nagging injury that just hurts him and hurts the team, honestly.
Ty France bats right, throws right. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, man. I really, really am curious if getting hit in that left arm so much and taking fucking juicers from Gino all the time is really taking a toll on his wrist. His wrist is always hurt. His
Maybe,
wrist and his
yeah.
elbow. Like, that thing takes a huge hit all the time.
Yeah.
Hitting by pitch,
Takes a beating.
catching 400-mile-per-hour heaters
From Suarez.
from Suarez.
I don't know. I'm not here for the diagnosis. I just want him to hit the damn ball. And if he can't hit the ball, I want Mike Ford at first base.
Yeah.
That's where I'm standing on this.
To sum it up for me, yeah, like Ty France, it sucks that his best strength right now is getting hit by pitch. Like I was rooting for it on Sunday. I was like, ooh, get hit by pitch. We need a runner on right now.
Yeah.
And I laughed and I was like, God damn it. Like I need Ty France to hit the ball. Like I'm rooting for him to get hit by this pitch. And he almost did. And I was like, ooh, yeah, okay. But
I've noticed myself doing that too. I'm like, ooh, Ty's going to get on base.
where's hit artist Ty France?
Where is hit artist Ty France?
Mike Ford is here. Let's put him in.
Sure.
Pro Mike Ford. One positive, I will say, Munoz has looked a little bit better. He pitched in the Saturday game. The Saturday game came in the 9th. It was a non-save situation, which is my bugaboo. I hate that when Munoz comes in and non-save.
He gets anxious.
And he was electric. He was painting with 102, which is the fastest I've seen him throw in quite some time. He was locating his slider. He looked really, really good. So that is one positive. Another positive, too, it's not all doom and gloom. We knew that this was going to come down to the final week and a half of the season. We've been saying that since the All-Star break. It's going to come down to these final games against the Astros and the Rangers. We don't want to put the cart before the horse. The Mariners do have to show up against Oakland. They need a sweep, honestly. 2 or 3, okay, but they really, really need a sweep right now. Astros and Rangers are treading water, and we're treading water. It's coming down to the wire, like we said, but the Mariners need to play better baseball. Right now, this is not a playoff caliber team. They are a playoff caliber team. Right now, they are not playing like it.
Yeah, who's a predator? Who's prey? We have to play like that predator team we were early in the season and be loose and fun too, because there's no margin for error right now. Every game matters. The Oakland A's have been trying to play spoiler. They've been beating good teams here and there, and they do have some good young players. They can hit the ball, they can pitch a little bit, but it's hard for them to put together a whole game where they can get the dub. And the Mariners need to play like a winning team because it has been lackluster. The energy on the field is, I don't know. They didn't look great. I love JP. He's always putting the vibe out. Eugenio Suarez is putting the vibe out. We were there. Me and Nathan were there on Sunday, and I was like, man, I love those guys. Just watching them between innings and doing their thing out there. Those guys are vibing out, and I love it. Cal Raleigh's getting beat up. He's kind of tired, but he's been doing really well. He's been throwing out so many runners. He's a threat at the plate, and we need Cal Raleigh to keep doing what he's doing. It seems like he's in marathon mode, you know what I mean? Where he's just like, all right, I'm zoned in and we're going full season. You know, everyone's there. Everyone's grinding, but I like JP and Eugenio especially look pretty loose and are bringing a good vibe.
Also, Cal is an absolute machine. I've never seen a catcher get beat up as much as Cal has. And, I mean, he's taken foul tips everywhere. A lot of times you see it even misses the pads. It's hitting him on the inside of the thigh, on getting his shoulder. I mean, the dude is tough. Catchers are notoriously tough, but I'd say Cal is a step above most catchers in just toughness alone.
He got cup checked in the first inning and then got hit again like a couple batters later. Like he was feeling it from the get-go on Sunday too. And he was in on Sunday. We didn't use a backup catcher like we usually would on a day game Sunday. So he was in there on a Sunday and getting cup checked in the first inning. It was tough.
Dude, I could not agree more. He's so tough. And you see it all the time. He gets beat up back there, and just the look in his eyes like, how much more do I have to take? And he just plows through. And his defense is getting better and better, which is amazing.
Yeah, his defense has gotten stronger as the season has gone on. It's like he's hulking up. The more damage he takes, the stronger he becomes.
Dude, that thrown out caught stealing to end the final game of the Angels series last Wednesday, that was sick. That's a cool way to end a ball game, a walk-off caught stealing.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Especially after I think that inning he took a ball off the inner thigh, as you were saying. And then he's like, yeah, let's just end this right now. I want to go home. I'm sore. I need to hop in the ice bath.
Yeah, I love Cal, man. I don't know. He's done more for this team than I could ever have expected in his first 2 years here. And I hope we sign him up this offseason. I'll give him an extension.
Yeah, I hope we keep this young core around. And that is one of the issues that we're kind of having right now with this team being so young. We're in the home stretch now, and the youthness is kind of prevalent. You can see it especially from our very young pitching staff. Guys are getting tired. It's a long season, and it really takes strength to finish out strong. And I believe if we keep this young core together, we won't be, drowning in September like we are right now. And we just keep this core together. They get more experience, become veterans themselves. And, we can have a great team for years to come. This team is still great. It's just right now we're really seeing the youthness shine through.
I think that's kind of more of a front office style take, you know what I mean? Like, if you think about the bigger picture, that's kind of where our front office is at, too. Like, they're like, yeah, okay, we're young right now. We need to pick and choose who we have in arbitration to sign up. Like, is Ty France a guy we're going to extend? Is Cal Raleigh a guy we're going to extend? Is Jared Kelenic a guy we're going to offer a contract to after this year? I don't know. Like, we don't know. They have to pick and choose their core right now. We're at the point where we have that youth, and we have to pick and choose who we offer those contracts and spend the guaranteed money on, and then add from there. And I think that's why they're adding pieces slowly, like Robbie Ray and Luis Castillo got added, and those are our big pieces because pitching and defense drives this Mariners team, usually. And now the offensive pieces have to develop. And the development has happened, and we've added pieces like Teoscar, who we don't know yet. But you're right. That's like a front office style take, and that's the bigger picture. That's why we didn't go big at the deadline. That's why we didn't sign all those guys and waste a lot of money. In the meantime, we have everything growing, and we'll add when we decide who those core players are going to be.
So let's look in the grand scope of things. The Mariners have just as much chance to make the playoffs as miss the playoffs. This final 2 weeks, is going to cement it. It's going to probably go down to game 162. Do the Mariners have what it takes to take the division, to be the wild card? The Astros have had their own struggles. They're still a phenomenal ball club over there in Houston. They're a bunch of bitches, but they have a great ball club.
And they're healthy now.
They're healthy. Do the Mariners have what it takes to compete, to win the division? I mean, that's now we've teetered from, oh, this is for sure playoffs to, is it possible? You know, we've kind of been on this roller coaster ourselves. Do you guys think that this team is playoff caliber?
I want to say I think so. I'm just looking ahead right now. We'll probably have a better idea of it this coming Saturday when we podcast again, going into the ramping up for the last week of the season. But really, I can only see us affording to lose 3 or 4 of these last 13 games, just based on our schedule, based on Toronto's schedule, and then, you know, us playing Houston and Texas back to back to back.
Right.
I don't know. I see, to for sure get a playoff spot, I see maybe we can lose 3 to 4 of these next 13 games. To be kind of on the edge, hoping third wild card with a tiebreaker with the Blue Jays or something, maybe we can afford to lose, 5 of these next 13 games. But I think it takes a lot of pressure off if we just sweep Oakland these next 3 days. Then we don't have to worry about only losing, 1 or 2 game per series to Texas and Houston and Texas back to back.
Yeah. It's never been more important to sweep Oakland right here off the bat. I mean, they do have a lot of young players, like I was saying, that they can string together some wins here and there. But taking all 3 would be huge for the Mariners. And then having a day off and traveling to Texas to face the Rangers, who have lost Max Scherzer. Evaldi came back and isn't looking as sharp as he was early in the season when he was like a Cy Young contending pitcher. But they still are tough teams. Maybe not Oakland, but Texas is still a tough team. They still have an offense. They still have great players over there, and they can get it done. I mean,
Oakland likes to play spoiler, though. Even last year when we clinched against them, they're still trying their ass off that game. Like, they want to be the team to knock us out, just like the Angels were last week. Last Monday, they were so excited to win that game, and even Tuesday and Wednesday, we won those games, but they battled, they made it close. Like, they wanted to play spoiler. They want to be the ones to knock a team out.
They still want to win.
They're not making it, yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
sure.
with the A's, now that it's the expanded roster and everything, you have these young guys on Oakland that are trying to prove themselves and be like, hey, sign me, make me an everyday major league player. And, it's essentially their tryout to the rest of the league. So, Oakland isn't rolling over. They haven't given up. These teams still want to win, even just from a player's individual standpoint of like, I'm playing hard. I want to cement my future. So, yeah, Oakland isn't going to roll over, and they've been playing better ball. It's crazy. They don't even have the worst record in baseball. Yeah. That's the Kansas City Royals.
The Royals, who were playing tough games against us too.
And they just they played the Astros tough just like last series.
They can play some good baseball games. That's what I'm saying. It's not a guaranteed sweep, and it's bigger than ever. Like, we need it. And playing Texas at their place will be tougher than at home. I think at home we kind of have the vibe going. For the last 4 games of the season, we're at home against Texas, and I really like that. Because right now Texas is 1 game above us in the wild card 3rd spot, and the Blue Jays are above them by another game. So it's like 81, 82, 83 wins right now. We're really close to both of those teams. I think the Blue Jays are going to keep playing well through the end of the season. They seem like they have something going on, and the Mariners need to find it again. I think the Mariners are a playoff caliber team, to answer your question. We've seen what they can do. When they're at their best and everything's clicking, they look awesome. And there's no better time to get hot than the last, 13 games of the season.
That's what they say. I've heard that.
The old adage goes. There's no better time to get hot than the last 13 games.
Yeah, that's right. And it will come down to the last game. I really do think it'll come down to like the last game. It seems like all of these teams play each other hard. Like Texas and Houston play each other hard. We play Houston pretty tough. And these games, we're going to have opportunities to win, and we need to take advantage of those. Patrick, you were saying earlier how we had opportunities to take the lead against the Dodgers, and we're blowing those opportunities right now. We're very unlucky. I don't know. I don't want to call it unlucky, but like we're being beat by the other team's strategies. They pitch us into the types of situations that we get ourselves into. You know, when there's runners on first and second, they're trying to strike us out because they don't even want those runners to move over. So they're pitching in a style where we're going to attack every weakness they have and go for the strikeout. When there's runner on third base, they might pitch around a guy to get to the next guy and try to get a double play ball. And I've seen this happen. Like the good teams they outplay us in strategy and get to the situations and put us in our weak situations, and we fall right into their trap. And that's the kind of thing that we need tougher analytical decision making. You know what I mean? And the batters need to understand that they're being pitched a certain way because of the situation. And I don't know how well that gets relayed from the analytics team to the players and how well it comes across or how much they understand about that, because I've seen it happen a lot. We just get outmatched by better analytical deployment and
Better coaching decisions. And,
yes,
you know,
Better
I mean,
bullpen decisions. Yeah.
Yeah, specifically late in game decisions like that.
that's why I keep saying I feel like our team's naive, but we're new to the dance.
well, we know that Scott has a tendency to get too cute. I complain about that frequently. I mean, for example, the perfect example of that is the Saturday Dodgers game. It went into extra innings and just using... I mean, he pinch hit that 8 spot, 3 at-bats in a row? It went from Dylan Moore to Rojas to Mike Ford. 3 pinch hitters in that 8 slot. And then now your bench is depleted, which is why we had Mike Ford instead of having a pinch runner for him, which at that point would have been the game-winning run because Mike Ford tied it with his 2-out single, JP's double. That would have been a walk-off. But because Scott got too fucking cute, and now we don't have the depth that we need to win those types of situations. It just needs better coaching decisions. Scott I'm so hit or miss with Scott. And you can see it happening too when he's getting too cute and you're like, oh, he's overthinking it. He's trusting what some sheet of paper says rather than his gut. As a manager, you need that shit. And yeah, I'm not trying to just completely rip on Scott. Obviously, he knows how to coach a winning ball club, but you do see him get caught up in his decisions, and it's costing us, specifically in September.
Yeah, I think Saturday that definitely cost us. I mean, yeah, Scott, I rip on him like Patrick does, but I'm also hesitant to because he's won us 90 games the past 2 years. With some of his kind of obscure, kind of, maybe not conventional choices that, we would have made, sitting at home watching on TV. This year it hasn't panned out as much. We're terrible in extra inning games, terrible in one-run games. We have won we're like 6-14 in extra inning games.
Bad.
That's so bad.
So bad. And Saturday just made me physically sick for a lot of reasons. Just the way that game ended. I'm sick and tired of seeing other teams get to celebrate clinching a division or clinching a playoff spot on our field. I've seen that. I've been at 7 or 8 games, I think, in my life where the other team has clinched or knocked us out of the playoffs. And I've been at 1 game in my entire life where the Mariners have been the ones to clinch a playoff spot. And I'm sick of that, dude.
That's a bad
Seeing the
record.
Dodgers celebrate on our field, winning the NL West in a game that we had a very good chance to win. Both those, the Friday and Saturday game.
It's true.
I don't know. I as a competitive person, I imagine our players saw that and were pissed off and fired up too.
I hope
but
so,
that's
yeah.
something that just makes me fucking sick. I hate it.
Yeah, it hurts, man. Especially when you're there in person to see it. You're like, man,
Must be nice.
how about we do that at home?
Yeah, how about we clinch a division for once? Like, God.
Yeah, Patrick, like you're saying about Service being too cute, he does, in certain situations, he overmanages, and we do make too many moves where they're not necessary, or like, I don't understand sometimes, but I mean, on Friday when Matt Brash came in, Spire was pitching, and he took care of the lefties, and then JD Martinez was up with a runner on third base, 2 outs. And you in the text were like, I hope this isn't like, I hope he's not getting too cute, because he brought in Brash to face JD Martinez. Mm-hmm. And JD Martinez is one of the best hitters in the league. I watched him take batting practice at the home run derby too, and dude, that ball explodes off of his bat. He hits the ball the other way into the gap, no problem, into right field, like so smooth. He's one of the best hitters. And he kept throwing sliders. I was like, okay, yeah. We got sliders so that he can't get good contact on a fastball right away. We got 2 strikes on him, and he threw another slider off the plate. And he was throwing sliders away the whole at bat. And I was like, yo, throw that fastball up now. Like, he's on that slider. Even when we're playing wiffle ball, like, if you guys throw the same pitch 3-4 times in a row, I see that pitch so much better every time it's thrown. Like, exponentially, I'm going to hit that ball harder every time you throw it, regardless of where it is. And he knows he's throwing slider away all at bat, so he's looking for it. And he pokes it into right field, no problem. He's a professional. Like, I think that's where our naivete comes in. It's like, dude, throw that 99-mile-an-hour fastball right above the top rail. You have a pitch to waste. Make his brain think something different. You've thrown all breaking balls off the plate on the edge. Like, it just didn't make sense. I was at work listening to the game, and I was watching it on my game day and watching the pitch locations, and I was like, throw the fastball now. Like, come on. And then I saw it come up. It was off the plate, but he still poked it in the right field, no problem. Like, that's just not, it's not the right, I don't know. We don't have the right vibe. It was the right move. It was the right pitching move, but it wasn't the right, like, approach to a professional hitter, to somebody of that caliber. Like, you really have to pitch those guys a different way and play with their mind too. Throw a pitch inside and move them off the plate. It didn't make sense, It was just too straightforward of an approach where they were one step ahead of us.
Yeah, and I feel like the Dodgers were one step ahead of us for that whole series.
Absolutely.
I mean, we had enough to battle into the 8th or 9th inning, which just goes, it is a testament to how good this Mariners team is. They, for 2 of the games, Friday and Saturday, Sunday was bullshit. They didn't have a shot in hell against the hangover squad for the Dodgers because they clinched the night before.
Yeah, and they threw an opener and then threw the junk baller, and he made us look like shit.
Yeah, he was throwing like 72-mile-per-hour curveballs.
Those curveballs are nasty. He comes out of a hard arm slot there, too. It's
letting
tough.
gravity do the work.
So much swing and miss. That was, oh, man, that was tough.
But it goes to show that, like, those types of decision-making is, and that kind of depth is what separates the Mariners. They're a good team. They can be playoff caliber, but they're just that one step away. And I feel like besides the month of August, they've been one step away all season. August, we got to see what this team has the potential of being and what they could be. Now, even with them playing their best ball, 21-6 in a month is not realistic. August was insane. But 18 wins a month, 19 wins a month, it's all possible. Just the Mariners, and right now they've taken another step backwards, so now we're 2 steps behind from where we need to be, from what this team can be.
So I just thought about something. The Mariners' record this year, while Jared Kelenic is on the roster and while he's not on the roster. Like, he came back in September and we haven't been doing well. I mean, like, I think that he's been taking good at bats and, like, he looks fine out there. He doesn't look hobbled. And I saw him take some good routes to balls in left field, even though he dropped one on Sunday, like down the line, like waist high, kind of sideways basket catch. He dropped it and it was a double. And it looked bad, but like the route he took to the ball was excellent. And the way he got there, and like he's still speedy. He doesn't look hobbled, which I'm very happy about. It's just that like I thought he'd inject a little more energy into the team, but he's just kind of gone unnoticed. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, he's back. Cool. And I just, we haven't talked about him much. He hasn't been exciting. He hasn't hit a home run. He hasn't been clutch. He's just kind of there. And we need everybody to be more than that. We need some vibe. We need some, I don't know, something. We need, I don't know. We're really flat right now. The way that they're playing, even on Sunday against the hangover Dodgers, was flat. And I'm not into it. I do think they can turn it on, though. I think they're going to flip the switch, go on this road trip, and catch fire again. I said this last week, and I still think there's plenty of room to catch fire. We just need a catalyst. Don't know what it is. Maybe Caballero gets sent down, and we call up someone who can hit.
Yeah, that'd be good. But Kelenic is not that good vibes guy. He's not a Crawford, a Suarez.
No, and
he's not there for the vibes, Matt.
No,
Also,
I'm saying he hasn't made the impact on the field to be the spark we need. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. He's also
been,
not made the impact on the rest of the team.
Yeah.
He just doesn't seem like that guy that you go to feel good and play fun baseball.
No, he's
Not
very much
there for that.
focused on his own game
Yes,
right now.
very much so.
Totally, and that makes sense. But hasn't been the electric player we need.
Which is fine if you're hitting good, but he's had no good play impact and no good vibes impact. So
Yeah. Yep.
It's kind of...
And, sometimes a player can be good. They just, for whatever reason, one reason or another, they don't mesh well with the team. And I'm wondering if Kelenic, it just doesn't mesh well. It's just like it seems different now that he's back. I loved when Canzone was playing every single game.
Me too.
I like Canzone. And, and Jesus Christ, how many times can we say, oh, is this when Kelenic's going to turn it around? Is this it? We've been having the same damn conversation about Kelenic for 2 years now.
Well, if we're in the playoffs, he'll be on our roster and have the moment that he needs, or not. And it is one of those things. I was saying, who are we going to extend? Is Kelenic a guy who fits in here? That's a great question, man.
Yeah.
I personally don't think so. I do think they will extend him, though.
I would be shocked, honestly, especially
If we do or don't.
if we sign Kelenic for
Really?
longer. I would be surprised.
Say send him to the Brewers or the Cardinals or some team
Send
that we
him,
don't
send
have
him
to
to
care
the
about.
Brewers.
Yeah.
But we've teeter-tottered. Oh, he's starting to look hot. Oh, this, that, and the other. And I feel like we're on a carousel.
I'm at the end of my rope with Kelenic, honestly, dude. I straight up don't care anymore.
He's proven he can have hot streaks, but like we tried to give him the extended run, he ended up kicking a cooler and breaking his foot. Like he did it to himself.
And the Mariners
it hurt
never
us.
played better.
And he was doing okay enough to like be on the roster every day and like make an impact on a major league team. And he kind of fucked himself, you know what I mean? And I don't know how much how well that looks to like a front office. And he is young. He's trying to work through things, and that's kind of our problem overall. Like George Kirby making comments to the media that he should have behind closed doors. Just being frustrated, being young and naive, man. I keep saying it, but that's where we're at.
I don't know if front offices care that much, honestly.
Well, I
Baseball's
mean-
a business. They've signed up players who have done far worse things than hurt themselves.
Sure, but
Other people.
when we're building a young core, you have to kind of look at how well personalities mesh. Look at how
That's a factor,
look
but-
at how the Padres are built, and like their personalities aren't meshing behind closed doors apparently, and like they have look at their roster on paper, and it's just not cohesive over there. You need to build something that's more than the sum of its parts, and personalities of players really help that like dynamic ability.
Totally.
Yeah, Kelenic is back from his injury, and it's just not the impact we're looking for. Speaking of more injury news, we were all hoping for the return of Tom Murphy. He has been now shut down from all baseball activities. He's not coming back this year,
No.
and it sucks. I love Tom Murphy. Tom Murphy is a great asset to this ball club. and he was having one of his best hitting seasons. He was seeing the ball well. He was hitting the ball all over. Really, really hurts to lose Tom Murphy for the season. Also, with all the news going around with like the Mariners competing and having a soggy September and stuff, it's kind of been pushed by the wayside, the Tom Murphy news, but it can't be overstated how important he is to this team, and it really hurts not having him here. Sucks.
He's a really good hitter.
Yes.
Really good catcher, too. I love Tom Murphy. Love having him on the team. It sucks to see him be out for the season.
His injuries have just been so unfortunate, too. Like, torn labrum and now a torn, messed up thumb tendon thing. Like, those aren't things you can just rest and rehab real quick. Like you could, like, a pulled muscle or a strained muscle or something. Like, any tendon or ligament or connective issues or anything like that.
Nerve
issues. They are what they are, and they suck. And I hope that he doesn't have to. I hope he rehabs fully and doesn't have to deal with these kind of bullshit injuries again next year, because those are the ones that hurt. You know, like you go down with a strain, pull a hamstring down for a week and a half, rehab it, take care of it the rest of the season, but you can keep playing. But yeah, tendons, ligaments, any joint issues like that, those are the worst to see. They suck.
Yeah, dude, I'm sad to see Tom Murphy go. He played a huge role on our roster when we were turning things around. He was seeing the ball very well. He was a power threat at the plate. We even had Cal and Tom Murphy in the lineup as a DH catcher duo.
That made
many
me so
times.
happy.
That was awesome.
That was my favorite part of the season.
Yeah,
I
we
really
said
like
it,
that.
and it happened. I think they were listening. But yeah, man, it made sense to do that. Tom Murphy was having his best offensive season. I didn't see it coming. What sucks is that he, I think, is a free agent at the end of this year. But maybe it doesn't suck so much. I was just thinking there's a silver lining. Maybe other teams won't be as willing to sign a player who just had surgery on his thumb or has like an injury, because the Mariners have a bigger opportunity to sign him up for a few years, you know what I mean? Until Harry Ford makes his real push for the major leagues. We're not going to be using 30-year-old Brian O'Keefe. Like, who else do we have in between? That's who's been on our 40-man. So until Harry...
I can tell you who we
You
have
know
in
who we
between.
have.
Yeah, right now, unfortunately, tell me, who do we have?
Luis Torrens.
I thought
That
we'd never...
dreaded name that we vowed to never speak of again.
I thought we'd never...
Well, he's
We
back.
had like a celebration episode when he got DFA'd last year.
Like, yep,
We're
good
like,
for-
we never
good
have
for
to talk
him.
about Torrens again.
And he's back, boys.
Dude,
He's like that Simpsons meme. He throws the guy out of the bar and then he's standing right behind him. It's that. That is Luis Torrens. I don't even think he was
finds
on.
his way back.
Yeah. I don't even think he's on the roster. He just shows up and they're just like, "Are you here now?" He's like, "No, yeah, I've always been here.
So
this is where I belong."
second base, catcher, pitcher.
Pitcher. He is undefeated on the mound.
We do need bullpen help right now.
Where do you want to play, Luis? Yeah, man.
So that's who we have.
That's a real bummer.
But I want to see Tom Murphy back.
That's because Brian O'Keefe went on paternity leave, right?
Yeah.
So we had to, yeah. So we're probably gonna have O'Keefe back at some point. But Luis Torrens made his way back to the Major League roster in 2023. It's insane. I guess we have to talk about it because of the Tom Murphy news as well. But I wish we had Tom Murphy, man. It makes me more sad that Luis Torrens is there in Tom Murphy's absence. Like, no.
Me too.
But I don't know, man. I hope that we just sign up Tom Murphy for a few more years, like 2-year, 3-year contract.
Speaking of people going down with injuries for the season, do we want to talk about the Shohei Ohtani news?
So apparently he's back. I mean, he's not. So Shohei, I guess he cleaned out his locker, and then apparently he went to Japan, but now he's not in Japan, and he's back in the Angels clubhouse, but he's not playing. I don't know. I mean, Shohei's time in Anaheim is over. I mean, he's there for, 13 more games, and he'll never step foot in that locker room again. He's done. And also, the Angels have now said they're open to trading Mike Trout. So we might get to
Good.
see to me personally, two of the most fun players in baseball finally off of that dumpster fire of an Angels roster.
Good.
Thank
Yes.
the heavens.
I want Mike Trout to go anywhere. I would love, except for the Yankees. I would love to cheer for Mike Trout.
The Yankees need players. You know, one of those guys is going to the Yankees, or they're going to try. Mike Trout as a Yankee would just be ugly, though. Like, it's not his. I don't think that's his vibe. Where would you want to see Mike Trout play then? Like Chicago Cubs?
I mean, Cubs are my second team. I would love him in Chicago.
That'd be sick.
I'd
I
love
think
him
he'd
to
look
see him
good.
launch piss missiles in Colorado and just destroy the ball, hit it 550 feet.
He's going to sign to the Braves as a part-time DH just so he can finally win a championship, because that's all we do in Atlanta is win championships.
Come on over, Mike.
That's crazy. I was also thinking Rockies and Braves.
That's crazy.
I just honestly leave the Angels. Just leave them.
I think
a
it makes
weird one.
sense. It makes sense to go to a team like the Twins or something like that.
Twins,
Like
the Rays.
Buxton isn't playing center field anymore because has been injury-ridden career, and like he's been DHing and playing some first. Like they have Kirilov. They have some outfielders there, but Mike Trout to over there to the Twins where Correa's playing. Maybe they need to add a little something.
Mike Trout as a pirate would be funny. A guardian.
And please no, not a Guardian. That's what I'm
Goes
saying.
from
The
the Angels to the
Twins,
Guardians.
like someone contending.
Yeah.
Who knows? Have him come play left field for the Mariners or right field. What if
Dude.
we got Ohtani and Trout? That would never happen.
So
But just
Otani's still going to get the MVP, right? Like he didn't even play like most of September and part of August. Like he had a UCL tear, and he didn't get surgery right away and kept hitting for a while, and then eventually just like kind of shut it down completely. And yeah, went to Japan, came back. I mean, he knows his time's over there, like you're saying. His off-season contract is going to be a huge conversation. The contract is going to have so many stipulations about pitching and hitting and injuries in the future, and guaranteed money versus escalator contracts, like we saw in Julio's contract. Like modern contracts for stars like this who may be injury prone are going to be so nuanced, man. I'm really curious to see what it's going to look like. But it's definitely not going to be with the Angels, man. They're getting rid of everybody and probably going to sell the team after that. I mean,
good.
Yeah, good.
they need to. Something needs to happen over
Sell
there.
them to Connecticut or like West Virginia. Who cares?
I mean, sell the team to a new owner. No.
No, just sell them to Connecticut.
I heard Nashville needs a baseball team.
Yeah, North Carolina needs a baseball team.
Yeah, nothing's happening in New Hampshire. The New Hampshire Angels, go for it.
Keep it on the West Coast and bring it to Portland.
Montreal hasn't had a team in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, any Angels bad news is good news to me. Their team is imploded. They are nothing.
Ever since Cade Marlowe hit that grand slam, their season just absolutely crumbled. That was the last straw for them, dude.
That is true though. They were cooking. People thought they were gonna win the division.
We ended their season.
Kissing Cade Marlowe. The grand Savannah Banana kissing Cade Marlowe.
Hell yeah.
Who is also now back in Tacoma, but he cooled off hard. He had a nice stretch there.
Yeah,
and maybe oh my god, it sounds like we're talking about Kelenic again. Maybe the potential is there. Da 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 da. But who knows? Who knows if Cade gets more chances in the future?
He will.
He did have some stretches where the potential showed, but he didn't. It wasn't consistent. He did have the big grand slam though against the Angels. That was huge. That was one of my highlights of the season.
I think he looks good enough to get some run in the future. He'll be around. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, some time in Tacoma, spring training in Arizona. Bring him back next year, see what's up.
See what's up. I'll tell you what's up, though, this last week and a half. 2 weeks of the season.
Let's go.
It's every game matters. If you're a casual fan listening to this, tune into the games, cheer the team on. I mean,
Go to a game.
yeah, just put the vibes out there because despite how soggy this September has been, we are almost in the same position we were before August. Like the August really boosted us so that we're in the hunt, and now we're still in the running. That finish line is 13 games away, and if we finish out strong, I mean the division is up for grabs, wild card is up for grabs, or it is hell or high water. There's a chance we don't even make the playoffs. This last 13 games is everything. This whole season has been building for this. Watch a game, talk to your friends, cheer them on, put the vibes out.
Let's get those dubs.
Yeah.
The vibes are real. Like every time I see someone in a Mariners outfit, I'm pointing at them and being like, "Yeah, let's go." Even if we lost today, I'm like, "Let's go. We got this.
We'll get them tomorrow.
Put the vibe out, everybody."
So good vibes only over here. We're still keeping our fingers crossed and hoping, and we knew this is what it would come down to. And I think it's a huge testament with the fact that we haven't dropped tons of ground.
Yep.
So
It's crunch time. Let's see what we've got left in the tank.
yeah,
They're going to put it all out there.
time to turn on the afterburners and finish strong. And we'll be back next week, hopefully with nothing but good news. Thank you all so much for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share.
JP Best Mariner.
JP
Best Mariner.
Cheer on the boys, and we'll be back next week with more Mariners news. Thank you all, and
Go Mariners.
Owen asked us to quote him,
Oh,
and I got some
Owen.
quotes here from our old friend Owen,
What do you
member
got,
of
Owen?
the pod who has moved away, but
hey, we miss you, Owen.
Our Portland correspondent.
our Portland
Gone
correspondent
but not
Owen.
forgotten.
He wants us to say that the offense looks retired.
That's not what he was trying to say.
I'm pretty sure that's a typo.
It
but
was
I'm
a
gonna-
typo. We know what he was saying.
Yep. He's saying our starters are hit and miss. He's saying that our bullpen is hit and miss. And he doesn't like Scott's retired sabermetrics.
Good points.
So-
Good
Talked on
points.
that already.
We
yeah.
touched about.
There you go, Owen.
We touched on Scott's sabermetrics. Our offense looks retired sometimes, and
Pretty retired sometimes.
but we're pushing on. Thanks, Owen, for the input. Our pitchers. We didn't talk about our starting pitchers that much, but I think he's a little bit right. We're getting down the road here. We're putting balls in the middle of the zone instead of working around the edges. We don't have the crispness that we need. That's kind of what I'm thinking he's talking about. Thanks, Owen.
Thanks, Owen.
Love you.
Thanks, Owen.